What's going on, good people? How we doing tonight? Happy Saturday to everybody. Hopefully everybody had a good start to their weekend. Action-packed day of college football. But right now it's about late night Giants talk. Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? Let me know if the audio is good. Let me know if the visual is good. Go ahead and get this background music going. We got some things to talk about for sure. A lot has happened. A lot has happened since the last time we had a late night Giants talk. Obviously, unfortunate things happen with Cam Scatterbull. It is what it is. And with that being said, though, man, how's everybody doing tonight? I see everybody's already in the building. Guys coming in already. 36 people. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in. Let the algorithm know that we in the building. And it'll let other Giants fans know that we in the building. I'll turn this music down right before we get going. So we got some things to talk about, man. Shout out to a couple people, man, in the comment section for the videos this week, man. Gave me a couple ideas. Obviously last week, I had a couple of Giants content creators on, and we talked about expectations, what we thought about some of the players so far this season. Tonight we're gonna talk about some grades, man. We're halfway through, so we can give out some midway grades. So I'm curious to see what you guys think about some of the grades that I gave out. I'm going to ask you guys also what grades you're giving to certain players. I didn't grade everybody because if I did everybody, this would take too long. Just some of our top players, some people that are surprising us, some people that are surprising us in a negative manner. Also want to give out grades to the units as a whole too, man. Let the cat out of the bag a little bit. So, like, I'm very, very proud of the offensive line, for example. Those guys get a high grade from me. I'll let you know what those things are. Other than that, man, we got some more trade rumors to talk about. A lot of people trying to call for Kayvon Thibodeau. We got Jalen Hyatt formally requesting a trade. That's the rumor that I heard too. The Dolphins finally listening to calls for Jalen Waddle. And while we're doing all this waiting and sitting around, the Eagles are still making moves. The Eagles trade for cornerback Jair Alexander to get him for a 6th round pick. Like, what are we talking about here, man? Why everybody making moves and the Giants ain't making moves, man? You guys let me know that. Let's close this one out. I'm good. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Gonna do a quick roll call for the people. Shout out to Jerry. Jerry was the first one in here today. He said, let's go Giants. Yo, what's going on, Jerry? My man Jerry is in the building. Said, what up, Dash? Let's go Giants. That's a fact. OKC Donald, what's going on? How we doing tonight, man? Mike Fonte says, let's go Big Blue. Tyrone Hall says, salute Giants fans. Manny Banks says, what's up, Dash? What's going on, Manny? How we doing? Was it Will Collector's Lounge? Says, yo, Big Dash, keeping my faith to at least finish strong. Hey, what else can we hope for right now? We down in the dumps a little bit. I tell you what, though, even though we're at where we're at right now, just having that quarterback makes things feel a lot better. I'll say that. Even though we ain't getting the wins that we want. It is what it is. Prophet said, yo, Giants Nation. Shout out to Giants Nation. My man Mike R also said Giants Nation. What's going on? Mr. February said, what up, Big Dash? Bring on the Niners. That's a fact. We all going to talk about the Niners game, too. I'm hopeful, man. I think we can actually pull this game off, man. A lot of people are not giving us a chance, and I think we got a chance, man. I saw one of the graphics where only one of the commentators gave us a chance. I think it was Daniel Jeremiah, but that was 2 days ago. So who knows how he feels right now? But I do think the New York Giants have a chance in this game if we do a couple of things for sure. Clinton Jones in the building says, salute. What's going on, Clinton? Is it Righteous Life Media said, Europe? What's going on, man? What's going on? Linda, let me know I'm good. Thank you. Luann says, hey, guys, it's Saturday night, date night, and I have a date with... Cut it out. In the chat. That's a fact. Clean that up. And thank you. Let me know I'm clear. I'm good. Thank you. My man Ian says, I finally got off work time tonight. I'm vibing. No, I'm doing good, man. I'm actually doing good. I'm feeling good. Again, nice day of college football. Watched a lot of prospects, and it's crazy too because I didn't think that I was going to be, into college football this soon already. But again, the Giants been losing, so I'm right in the draft mode already. Turn that music down a little bit so we can get this show started. Scat got an A. All right, man. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Big Moo, what's going on? Big Moo said, "Yo, Big Dash, good to see you, bro. Good to see everybody, man. Good to see you, Big Moo. Good to see everybody. Dart is an A plus. Yeah, we're gonna get to it, man. We're gonna get to it. The first thing I want to talk about, though, man. First thing I want to talk about is this whole Carl Banks situation, man. So we had a chance. We had a chance. To, days have gone by. Things have cooled off for a bit. So that's my first question to everybody here, man. I know you guys probably know how I feel. If you follow me on Twitter, you know how I feel about the whole what Carl Banks said about Dexter Lawrence and whether Carl took it too far or where the comments warranted. So I want to know how you guys. That's my first question for everybody. If you're in the building right now, first things first, make sure you hit that like button. Please do that. Helps the channel out more than you even know. But I also want to see what you guys say. Was Carl Banks, yes or no question? Was Carl Banks wrong with his comments about Dexter Lawrence? That's going to be my first question. And I'm going to continue to do a roll call while we wait for some of these answers to come through. JJ the King, what's going on, man? How we doing tonight? Sean says Joe needs to trade for a receiver to keep developing Dart the correct way. We'll see what happens with that. Is it Seabiscuit? Seabiscuit 29401 says Dash, we in the building. Let's cut it up. G Unit. Rose Manana. Let's go. No Nets. Sorry, no Mets, no Nets, no Jets. What's going on? He said we should pull this game off. I think so, man. I think so. Giants guy says they never make moves. Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. It takes a while for us to make some moves. Okay, here we got some of the answers coming. My man Jerry says no. JJ the King says no. OKC is talking about something different. I need you to answer the Carl Banks question. He says we need all the draft picks we can get, so you don't want to trade. E-Band says no. Couch Coach Tommy says Dex just need to put up and shut up. Prove the man wrong if you can. Definitely. We got some follow-ups to this. So I'm seeing a lot of no's so far. Okay, Ian says Carl was speaking facts. They don't respect you part was a little exaggerated. I believe so. But other than that, listen, if you were playing up to snuff, nobody can even make those comments. If you want to shut people up, go to work. Put the hard hat on and go to work. So, man, I actually had some back and forth. With a few people about this. And obviously, I didn't think that Carl Banks said anything wrong. And then when I think about Carl Banks, I think about who coached Carl Banks and the type of motivation that Bill Parcells brought out. And it wasn't nice. It wasn't nice motivation. If you guys remember Bill Parcells, there was nothing nice about his type of motivation. He got under people's skin. He got under his players' skin just to try to get the best out of them. And even though he'll say some crazy things, whether he believes those things or not, I don't believe so. So for me, Carl Banks saying that these teams are disrespecting you or they don't respect you, he knows that teams respect Dexter Lawrence. I mean, that's the obvious thing. Some people take it literally. Carl Banks also went on and cleaned things up and said what he had to say. He's trying to motivate and stuff like that, but he's not the same. If you're counting on him to motivate, then you're not in the right place. But to Luann's point, she says the DL coach broke it down about Dex. He pretty much said Dex has been playing well. Now, see, and that's the part I don't like, because one thing that was very, very suspicious about the comments that Andre Patterson made, he was throwing a lot of stats out there. How many times he's been, the percentage of how many times he's been double teamed, where he's been lining up. And I thought that was funny because that's usually something that positional coaches really don't get into. And they talked about the guy Dion, and Dion is one of those guys on the staff that looks up those numbers and provides those type of details, most like an analytics type of guy. But it's funny to me how Carl Banks makes those kind of comments, and then everybody goes into defense mode for Dexter Lawrence. Here's my opinion on this, right? Dexter Lawrence is a grown man. Dexter Lawrence is a all-pro caliber defensive tackle. Arguably one of the best defensive tackles in the league. I still believe he is. But you got to be blind. You got to be absolutely blind if you believe that he's having the same impact that he's been having in the past couple of years. I'm sorry. And if it hurts people's feelings to call out Dexter Lawrence, I don't know what to say to you, man. It's football at the end of the day. And guess what? If Dexter Lawrence was being the Dex of old. If Carl Banks makes those same comments, it holds no validity. Nobody's going to pay attention to him. And then the comments that Dexter Lawrence made by calling Carl Banks delusional will hit harder. But no, we see it. We see it in the numbers. And yes, it's not all about quarterback sacks when it comes to the defensive tackle, especially a nose tackle. But you and I know, if we're being honest with ourselves, Dex has not looked like Dex yet this year. I thought maybe it was because of the injury. I thought maybe because he wasn't in playing shape. But the funny thing, sometimes when you say things, you end up hurting yourself as well. So Andre Patterson's Dex is playing well. Dex said, no, my elbow is fine. So what's going on really? And another thing that Andre Patterson says when he talked about sack numbers and going back in history with defensive tackles and guys that line up over the nose, he said, well, Dexter Lawrence is not a 3 technique. He's a nose guard. That's Andre Patterson said that. So you know what I did? I looked at the stats for the alignments for Dexter Lawrence. And here is your positional coach, the defensive line coach, Andre Patterson, saying to everybody, defending Dexter Lawrence against Carl Banks' comment, but also hurt his own defensive coordinator at the same time by saying Dexter is not a 3 technique. I looked up the stats. Dexter Lawrence lined up at the nose about 173 times, I believe. I had the numbers in front of me a second ago. And then he lined up as a 3 technique 159 times. That's a hell of a split. And if your defensive line coach is telling you that Dexter Lawrence is not a 3 technique, but he's lining up at 3 technique for almost 50% of the time, then what are we talking about? So they're giving away things, man. Maybe that was a silent shot at somebody else. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I'm with Carl Banks on this one. If you think Carl Banks did something wrong, it is what it is. We don't got to agree on everything. Let me go through some of these comments and see what somebody has to say, or some of you guys have to say. Mike Fonte says Carl Banks is absolutely correct about Dex just because Dex hasn't done anything this year. Mr. February says, no, Carl Banks making that statement is only a psychological way of bringing out the best in them. Parcells did that with Lawrence Taylor. He did that with all of his players. And thank you. That's one of the points I was trying to make. We're on the same wavelength, right? Clinton Jones says no. Castro, I was asking about the Carl Banks comments if you didn't already. Do you agree with what Carl Banks said, or are you mad at what Carl Banks said when he was criticizing Dexter Lawrence? That's what the question was. WBJR says, or WB Jr. says, no, he doesn't need to get 9 sacks, but I would like to see more disruption from him, at least from what I see, but I could be wrong. You're not wrong, because there's multiple people that see it. Just think about it. For multiple weeks, I've been sitting there, oh man, I can't wait for Dex to have that Dex day, or that, to look like Dex again. If I'm saying and making those comments and people are saying those same comments, just wait till Dexter Lawrence to get started. Obviously, to us, he's not looking the same. Now, he's still doing a fantastic job. The numbers are still fantastic. But we as Giants fans that watch him every week, and we watch him closely every week and have a certain expectation for Dexter Lawrence, we know that we can see more from Dexter Lawrence for sure, 100%. 100%. We got some 49er people in the building. Says bang bang Niner game. Let me tell you something, man. Was it 2023? I went to that Giants game at what did he call y'all park now? Levi Stadium. I was at Levi Stadium, and I tell you what, man, that atmosphere is fantastic. Those fans are fantastic. They bring a lot of energy. And they're crazy, man. They're crazy. I say that, man. Good energy though. Not disrespectful, and I do see you guys get wild sometimes. Sometimes I see 49ers fans fighting 49er fans out there. Speaking of that, what's the guy's name? Michael Bradley. How you feel? Is it Purdy or is it Mac Jones? Let me know. Let me know, Michael. Let me know. He said, Big Moose says Carl Banks is always very honest and open, and he is entitled to his voice, to voice his opinion. Always very respectful, and you never really hear him dissing a player unless he deserves it. I respect Carl, and that's another thing that people are saying. Who is Carl Banks to say this? He's not a coach. He's not a part. He's not out there with the. That's Carl Banks, in my opinion. That's a 2-time Super Bowl champion, in my opinion. In my opinion, he can also be a future Hall of Fame I think he should have been there already. One of the best linebackers out there to do it. Carl Banks was nice. If it was Skip Bayless that said this, if it was Stephen A that said this, nobody cares. But it's because it was Carl Banks that made it hit home and you got the reaction that you got. Now, I do believe that the beat writers ran with it, though. The beat writers definitely ran with it. Let's get through these comments. I'm trying to do a better job of getting to these comments, man, if y'all didn't know. Also, let me go ahead and put the comments on the screen. That way you guys can see it as well. Paul says defense was supposed to be our strength, but it is our weakness. That's a good way to do it. Shout out to 2 giant goofballs in the building. I'm pretty sure this is Drew. How we doing tonight, man? If you're not subscribed to 2 giant goofballs, what are you doing, first of all? What are you doing? 2 fantastic Giants content creators. Make sure you go ahead and check out my man, Drew, and also, at 2 giant goofballs. Paul says, fire Bowen on Monday. We're going to get there, man. We talking about Carl Banks. We're going to get there. We're going to slow things down. We're going to get there. I'm going to have a little bit more structure in the show today. Tonight, I should say. Manny Banks says, I wasn't old enough to see the Parcells era. He's one of the greatest coaches of all time. That's a fact. He is. He was very critical. He wasn't soft. He talked a lot of trash to the players. Lawrence Taylor, one of the greatest football player ever. And trust me, Bill Parcells talked trash to Lawrence Taylor. That's just the era that they came up with. That's what Carl Banks comes from. It is what it is. 2 Giant Goofball says Carl Banks needs to leave Dexter alone and go after Bowen. I will say that. That a lot of people are saying that. But at the end of the day, you say something to Bowen, it's like saying something to a wall. You're not getting through. You talk to the players. And I'll say this too, man. The angle, and again, this is me just acting as if I knew exactly what Carl Banks meant. If you're trying to make a point, you go after the leader of the team. Because if you go after the leader of the team, the rest of the team responds. That's just my opinion. So if you call out Dexter Lawrence, I expect the rest of that defense to respond as well, not just Dexter Lawrence. So that's the type of energy I'm taking to this game, for sure. Jose says Dexter should take that as motivation. That's a fact. I didn't really like Dexter's reaction to it, man. He was very, very nonchalant about it, which you don't want him to feed into it too much, but he called Carl Banks delusional. And he said that I am playing well. He also said, I wish these teams did disrespect me. Here's my deal. If this pisses off Dexter Lawrence, I'm all for it. I have never in my life seen a mean or mad or angry Dexter Lawrence in my life. Even when Dexter Lawrence is playing at his best, he's dancing and he's smiling. I want to see what angry Dex looks like. I'm curious to see it. Get your popcorn ready for that. It is what it is. Shout out to my man Mark Thompson in the building. He says, I really can't question Carl Banks. I figure Carl is purposely expressing himself that way. For sure, Dex isn't playing at the level he has been playing the last 3 years. Listen, it's no excuses, man. Like, I hate that it had to be Dexter Lawrence. But to me, again, he talked about Muasau. He talked about Tay Banks. He talked about other players not communicating well with the safeties in the secondary. He's talked about a lot of players since the season has started. It fell on deaf ears. The first time you talk Dexter Lawrence, it becomes a media storm. I think he pointed out the right person. Luann, I agree with you. He says Dex needs to lose some weight and shape up. Yeah, man. Listen. You can't tell me that Dexter Lawrence ain't like 370 pounds. Like you see him out there. Again, he was coming off an injury, had the elbow injury. Don't know how he was able to work out. We saw him in the summer. They held him out of practices. He was limited in a lot of practices. He didn't play at all in the preseason. He's getting into playing shape. Listen, his wife is a chef. He just had a baby. You understand sometimes when your girl is pregnant, they gain pregnancy weight, and sometimes the husband does too. The fathers gain weight too. Maybe that's some baby weight he got going on. He got to shed it though. He definitely got to shed it. WB says no sleep after having a baby. Now that's a fact. That's a fact. For the people that out there that have kids, had kids, especially when they're young, newborns and stuff like that. If you're very lucky, if God has blessed you with a kid that can sleep through the night, you're very, very lucky. Not everybody gets that though. I wonder if he is staying up late. Now I wonder if he's getting the guilt trip because, he got to sleep. He got to sleep. He got to be prepared to go. Jose says Bowen can set up that attack, but the soldiers got to execute. If not, we're in a losing battle. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that too, because at the end of the day, players got to execute no matter what the game plan is. You got to execute. But I'll say this, man. Yes, the players are not executing, but also I don't like the scheme. I don't like the scheme. They had a meeting where they called a meeting with Shane Bowen. They told Shane Bowen that they want to be more aggressive, and we have not seen that yet. Well, actually, we saw that for for 3/4 in the Denver game, right after they had that meeting. Like they got to play, and Bowen got to be better. And you see him at the podium every week. It's the same thing. I got to do better. Brian Dable, I got to do better. Mike Kafka, we got to do better. I don't want to hear it anymore. Just do better. How about that? Do what you told me you were going to do. Do better. Do better. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said they're going to play Ray Ray. I hope so. So that was another note. So we did see the player elevations today. Ray McLeod was elevated. So Jackson Dart gets a new weapon this week, or I should say tomorrow for the 49er game. I'm excited for it. They interviewed Mike Groh. He said that Ray McLeod brings a lot of experience with him. Shifty, fast. To me, he reminds me, same playing style, similar use as like a Wan'Dale Robinson. I'm curious to see how they use him tomorrow. But so they did bring up Ray. I hope they use him too. You know what I was surprised at seeing though, Emac? I was surprised to see that Turbo Miller still didn't get called up. So tomorrow we go into this game with only 2 running backs again. We're rolling the dice again. What we gonna do, man? I mean, if one of these guys get hurt, what we gonna do, man? What we gonna do? The Big Moose says, agree, no sleep since his wife had the baby. Listen, man, I don't care what's going on, but at a certain point in time, come on, Dex. And we only, listen, if we didn't care about Dex, if we didn't think Dex was any good, we wouldn't care about it so much. We wouldn't talk about it so much. But we know there's another gear left in Dex. So we'll see what happens with that. Born for Sports says, and again, please, if you're not subscribed to Born for Sports, make sure you go ahead and do that. Another fantastic New York sports, not just New York Giants, New York sports content creator here on YouTube. So if you're not subscribed to his channel, make sure you go ahead and do that. Shout out to my man Jorge. How you doing? I know you're going to be in the building tomorrow, at least most likely. Shout out to the 330 crew. He says, Banks told no lies. He came through with Unk energy. That's hilarious, Unk energy. These players are too sensitive to criticism, and our coaches coddle the players too much. Hopefully Dex gets 2 sacks tomorrow. I hope so. And it's funny that you said that these coach coddle the players, because they do. In some cases, when Andre Patterson came out there, it's like you're enabling. Now, I understand when Carl Banks went after Dexter Lawrence, it's like he's going after your child because you've been coaching Dexter Lawrence up since you got here. So I understand why Andre Patterson felt like he needed to defend him. But come on now. We got to do better than that. Mark Thompson says, do we recall that Dex play against the Colts last year where he took down O-linemen, including Nelson? That was awesome. Was that 2022? I think that was 2023. I don't think that was last year, though. I forget what year it was. Was that last year? Anyway, yes. He had both linemen and got the quarterback still. Like, and you telling me he's having and that was Quentin Nelson, to your point. That was Quentin Nelson, and we see how Quentin Nelson is playing this year. Quentin Nelson was an all-pro back then, and Dexter Lawrence did that to him. So when we sit here and we say that Dexter Lawrence ain't looking like Dex yet, is warranted because he's not looking like Dex yet. Paul says Bowen has no clue how to use his players. Prove me wrong. There's nobody gonna argue with you, man. We're not arguing with that at all. Listen, I said this the other day, man. I said to me, the Giants coaching, well, I should say Brian Dable and Joe Shane are carrying around Shane Bowen like Weekend at Bernie's. So for those that understand that reference, fantastic. You cool with me. For those that don't understand that reference, go ahead and Google Weekend at Bernie's and the person in the glasses is Shane Bowen. That's who that is. They dragging around a body to the end of the season so they can say, hey, everybody, if the season's bad, here's your sacrificial lamb, Shane Bowen. He was horrible the whole year, and we're going to fire him right now to let you guys know that we're serious about turning this thing around. I'm not falling for that. WB says, speaking of defenses, how about the Eagles picking up a... Yeah. Yeah, man. I was saying it earlier. Everybody else making moves while the Giants are sitting on their hands. I got a couple conspiracy theories about that. Some rumors that I saw about that, why the New York Giants aren't making any moves, buyers or sellers. Because, some people said that's pointing to maybe somebody told them that they can't make any moves. You can't give away any draft capital next year because you might not be here. We'll see what happens though, man. Trade deadline is Tuesday. We'll find out. Phil says Carl Banks was right. Let's call it what it is. How many sacks does Dex have? How many times do you hear his name during the game? The replay, are you seeing him dominant? Sorry, Dex. I'm going to ask you guys one question right now, and this is just in the whole argument conversation. Have you seen Dexter Lawrence do the sexy Dexy once this year yet? Have you seen Dexter Lawrence do the sexy Dexy once this year yet? You haven't. Case closed. That's it. That's it. We haven't seen the sexy Dexy. We haven't seen it all year. I want to see it a few times tomorrow. I'm trying to see the sexy Dexy tomorrow, please. I'm seeing more kids doing it in college. I saw Mark Ingram today at halftime doing it at the college game. I need to see it. Pause. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to the 133 people in the building. Make sure you hit that like button. Shout out to my man Seth Dawkins. We've been going back and forth, Seth, on Twitter, man. Dash always interacting with me on Twitter, my God. That's a fact. We've been going back and forth, Seth. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the good back and forths, the debates and all that, man. I understand it. Seth says, after we beat the 49ers, we trading for Waddle. I wish. It's going to be expensive, though. Speaking of expensive, we could talk about two of these guys. We talk about two wide receivers. You got Jalen Waddle, who the Miami Dolphins are finally, taking calls for. Don't know what the asking price for Jalen Waddle is going to be. We'll find that out soon. I'm assuming you only got 2 days. Well, we only got 3 days. But the Jags, the rumor says that the Jags are listening to calls as well for Brian Thomas Jr., who I would love to add to the roster because he already played with Malik Neighbors. Would love to get him back here. Their asking price starts with a first rounder, which means they want a first rounder and some. And the funny thing about it is I would love to have Brian Thomas here, but first rounder, when you're probably trying to get rid of him, if you look at Brian Thomas's numbers are low this year. A lot of people are saying that change in that scheme, he's not really fitting in. But I will also say this: they just put Travis Hunter on IR. That's at least 4 weeks you're going to be without Travis Hunter. Do you really want to give up Brian Thomas Jr., especially when your team is still in the hunt? We'll see what happens with that. And when you look at that wide receiver room for them, they can't afford to have, Brian Thomas not there and also Travis Hunter not there. Come on. My apologies. I see the super chats in the bill. I just saw the super chats. Shout out to the Big Moo. Let me go ahead and get this right. Shout out to the Big Moo with the $2. Let's go. He says, why is Evan Neal and Hyatt still on the roster? That's a great question, man. And I've gone full circle now. I've made an about face right now for like the third time when it comes to Jalen Hyatt. Like seeing Jalen Hyatt ask for the trade now, request a trade. That's the rumor. He's asking to be traded. He wants a fresh start. I'm not even mad at him. I'm not even mad at him. It comes a time where the way he's been getting used, the way that we feel about him, we think a lot of the people think that he's no good. He's a bust. Let him go somewhere else. If we can get something for him, maybe we can get a 7th round pick for him. I don't think there's a lot of market for Jalen Hyatt. I'm not sure, but if we can get anything for him, I would do that. Evan Neal, I'm seeing people saying we could trade Evan Neal. You let me know where we can trade Evan Neal. Where can we get something for him? I'll take anything for him right now. What do we need to do to get this deal done? I'll take some cat's pastrami right now for Evan Neal. If somebody can ship it to me. I apologize, Evan Neal. I really don't, but I do apologize. You're a human being. You got feelings. Shout out to a foot long, pause. $5 super chat says, what up? I checked out the Giant spaces because the team is depressing, but how are we feeling less than 16 hours away from kickoff? W, go Big Blue. Now, I think we got a chance of winning this game. I really do. We think we got a chance. If the defense shows up, I hate saying it all the time, but if the defense shows up, if we can get pressure on, I think it's Mac Jones. I don't think Purdy's going to be ready. They played around a little bit. I think he's doubtful, unless he's been ruled out for sure. I think we got a chance. I really do think we got a chance. The 49ers are hurt too. They missing wide receivers. They're missing edge rushers. Bryce Huff ain't playing. This will be a perfect game to have Cam Scatterbull. I'll say that for sure. But I'm curious to see what happens, man. I really think if we can get that pressure, constant pressure, the main thing is trying to shut down Christian McCaffrey, though, by any means necessary. If you can shut down Christian McCaffrey, the New York Giants have a chance. I'm hoping that Daniel Bellinger plays. He has a hurt neck. If he doesn't play, maybe we finally see Fedoni get some targets. I've been waiting for that too. Sometimes good things happen in disguise, and trust me, Daniel Bellinger is tight end 1 in my opinion. He is TE1 in my opinion, but he might not play tomorrow with the hurt neck. Maybe we finally get the chance to see Fedoni and see what he can do. And that's the one thing, again, I say about the New York Giants. They're always reactive instead of proactive. You got Thomas Fedoni, a jersey, but you still won't use him. I need to see what this guy can do. I like the little bit that he did in the preseason. You know, has a big catch radius. You can use him in the red zone, sure hands. You know, let's do some things, man. It's time to explore. Also with Jermaine Illuminor, I don't know if Jermaine Illuminor is playing or not, but if he doesn't play, Marcus Bowe most likely gets to start. We'll see what happens. I was trying to check to see if Illuminor was playing. I didn't see a status change. So if you guys saw a status change, let me know. But I'm curious to see. I want to see Marcus Bowe play some. I do. Lucas, what's going on, Lucas? He says, what's good, Dash? Happy to be watching the show. Let's F and go Big Blue. Now, that's a fact. Thank you for tuning in, Lucas, as always. Lucas says, I have to wake up at 3 a.m. in Australia to watch the games. That's how much I love this team. Listen, man, shout out to you, Lucas. Shout out to you. Lucas, you said Australia. Were you on Sneaky G's show a few weeks ago? Let me know if this is it. Let me know if this is you, because they had somebody from Australia hop on the podcast. Let me know if this was you or not. Let me know. Mark Thompson says we handle both Dexter and Malik with kid gloves through OTAs and training, and this is the result. I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. So I am going to apologize. I need to get caught up on the comments right now. I am about 8 minutes behind the comment section. So I see a lot of no's still talking about Carl Banks not being wrong. I see it. And a lot of no's to Dexter Lawrence not doing the dance. Shout out to my man Rick Torture in the building. A lot of people saying no, we have not seen Dexter Lawrence do the sexy Dexter yet. Nope, we have not. We have not. JDJ says he did the sexy Dexy dance, but just during player intros. Nah, that's a fact. That's hilarious too. Big pause. That's a fact too. Pause. Where'd he go? I'm going to the bottom. I'm gonna get to some of these comments, and again, I do apologize if I do miss your comment. MBX13 says Brian Thomas Jr. and Leak will be nice together, but not for a first. They tripping. Here's the thing with that though too, man. Obviously he was a first round pick too, so you do get the 5th year option. So it's not like you're just kicking the can down the road if you are able to get him, because you're gonna have to sign both these guys, to a second contract. We already know if Neighbor stays on the trajectory that he is right now, he's gonna be like what? He's gonna be up there with Jamar chasing him as far as how much money Giants are gonna have to put out for him. And do you really want to do that twice with Brian Thomas Jr.? because, like, again, both of these guys are in the same draft class. Brian Thomas's production last year was phenomenal. So, I mean, that's another thing you got to look at. How much money is it going to cost you? But when you have that quarterback on that rookie contract, the money goes a little bit longer, for sure. For sure. Luann says, Dash, did you see where Eli's son dressed as Dart for Halloween? I did see that. MBX says, not the pastrami. That's a fact. Listen, I'll trade Evan Neal for a cat sandwich right now. Right now. Couch Coach Tommy says Dable is maneuvering to keep his job. You can't look at moves that make sense. Is what makes sense for him. Now that's crazy. I believe you now. I mean, I'm agreeing with you and saying that's crazy because, again, we see it all the time. I think Dable understands that he needs to hold on as tight to Jackson Dart as he can. We see it in practice. He's all over him. Pause. We see it in the games. He's always tapping him on the shoulder. I mean, he's a quarterback. I understand, but there's a little extra something with that, and it's clear as day. Like, Dable knows he's on the hot seat still, even with a rookie quarterback. A rookie quarterback that's undefeated at home. Speaking of that too, how about I know we haven't been winning much, but can we have some kind of streak? Can we keep the home game winning streak alive for Jackson Dart? Can we get that to 3 games? For Jackson Dart, he's undefeated starting at home right now, if I'm not mistaken, right? Chargers, Eagles, and this will be his 3rd home game, right? Yeah, let's keep some type of streak alive, possibly. Let's go. Footlong says Kay Adams was the last person to do the sexy Dexy. Yeah, you're right. Shout out to MBX13 for becoming a channel member. Welcome to the Big Blue Nation. Thank you for the love and support, man. Thank you for the love and support. Is it LV's? LV Shore? LV Shore. Okay, I see what you did there. He said to keep his job is unequivocally over. Unequivocally. All right. We out here with the big words now. JDJ says random. Why can't our promising player just suffer regular injuries like ankle sprains, sore shoulders? NFL guys always got to leave our stars handicapped. It's not fair. It's called the Coughlin curse. That's exactly what it is, JDJ. It's called the Coughlin curse. We thought the Coughlin curse was lifted when he showed up to practice this preseason. I'm talking training camp practice. I thought it was over. We looked good in preseason. I thought the Coughlin curse was over. Nope. And that's what it is. But just think about it. Last year, there were a lot of smaller injuries last year. You had Tyrone Tracy early in the season, dislocated ankle. We thought he was going to miss a bunch of weeks, and he ended up coming right back. You had the turf toe with Malik Neighbors. It was a turf toe. He had a shoulder. He had a bad back. He had the knee. Like, we get the small injuries and the season in the injuries. That's that Coughlin curse, man. That's that Coughlin curse. And Coughlin's not responsible for it either. Jesse Montana says, Dash, trade Russell Wilson ASAP. Can we still get something for Russell Wilson? You know, the one thing that helps Russell Wilson is Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins looked horrible last week when he started for the Atlanta Falcons. And I thought maybe he had some trade value over some other people, but he looked horrible. Minnesota Vikings need some help at quarterback. If they're calling and asking for Russ, maybe I make that move. I'll say this too about Russell Wilson, man. Despite how we feel about Russell Wilson, you know, he started this season. It didn't work out. He brought something very, very important to this team over the summer. He brought leadership. He brought professionalism. He showed that quarterback room how to prepare. Him and Jameis Winston. You think Jackson Dart is good? You got to give a lot of these guys credit. It ain't just Brian Dable that helped Jackson Dart. Just think about that quarterback room, all that experience in the quarterback room. No matter how we feel about Russell Wilson right now, that's still a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Jameis Winston got a bunch of years first round pick. I'm sorry, first round pick, first overall pick in Jameis Winston. There's a lot of knowledge in that room. So, Jackson Dart had some good people in front of him showing them the way. And now we're just reaping the benefits from it. But man, shout out. But if we can get something for Russell Wilson, go ahead and do it. Because guess what? He's walking at the end of the year anyway. You know how much money we saved because he ain't going to hit any of those incentives? Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Knock on wood for that. JJ the King says, maybe this is what we get for going undefeated in the preseason. Come on, man. Come on, man. We ain't going to do that. I drank the Kool-Aid in preseason. I ain't going to lie. I had a couple of sips of the Kool-Aid. Had a couple of sips. Mr. Burton 920 says, peace, my brother. Keep up the magnificent work, Giants Nation. Appreciate you. Nah, I appreciate you. Thank you for vibing with me. Thank you for showing support and love. Again, I appreciate it more than you know. More than you know. Luann, all caps. Did you see that the refs are being investigated from the Giants and Eagles game? I did not see that, but I understand why. Those calls were bogus. Shameful. Giants got robbed because of the sports betting crap. Listen, some of those calls were egregious. I will say this, because of what happened with Kayvon Thibodeau with that strip of Jalen Hurts, I think they vote out the tush push next year. Because if the referee can't decide whether the play is dead or forward progress is dead or not, because there was no whistles. There were no whistles blown. And when there are no whistles blown, that ball is live. And if that ball is live, the New York Giants should have had that. Just think about that. That was what, a 7-point swing right there? Because they scored on the next play. They scored on the next play. The New York Giants get the ball at that, and it's still 7-7 at that point in time. The New York Giants get an extra possession. Maybe, every play matters. In my opinion, every play matters. Leo Lucas says, are the Giants wearing the throwback uniforms tomorrow? Yes, they are. If so, I can't watch in Florida. I wish I could. They are wearing the legacy jerseys tomorrow. By show of hands, how many people wish that legacy jersey was their permanent home jersey? Show of hands here. I need the Giants back on the helmet. You see it. I need the Giants back on the helmet ASAP. The jersey looks good. I can't wait to see these guys tomorrow, man. I can't wait for this game. Couch Coach Tommy says Russ is the first one off the sideline cheering guys on and pumping them up, even if it ain't that good at. Yeah, no, that's a fact. Last week when every time Jackson Dart or anybody scored, Russell Wilson was right there. A good drive right there. There's despite all the mess that's happening, there's a lot of mess going on with the New York Giants. Despite all the mess, the one thing I can say is that team is together. The players are together. Now, whether or not they trust all of the coaches, that's another thing. But right now, those players are playing for each other. There's no doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind about that. MBX says, Big Facts Dash, for the money we paying, that is some good leadership for our rookie quarterback, and it is showing. Nah, it's a fact, man. Just think about that, man. When he goes in to watch film, to see what's going on, he has Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston right there with him. To help break down the play, hey, you should have saw this, or when that safety comes up, this is how you read. Like he's getting a lot of teaching, not just from the coaches, and that part I love. Real pen, he said, free Chauncey, yeah, free Chauncey, lock up the refs. Listen, man, Chauncey Billups, you know what's crazy? Those charges from like 20 years ago, I think. I thought it was something that was happening that was fresh. That's 20 years of investigation. Somebody was snitching like crazy. And they waited a long time because they arrested a lot of people. We ain't talking about that, though. We talking about the Giants stuff. We ain't talking about Ricos and the people from that lifestyle, as we all say. Luann says, we went undefeated in the preseason when Kerry Collins was quarterback. Then we went 4-12, I believe. You might be right. You might be right. I see the hands in here. Giants on the helmet. Though legacy jersey should be the regular. That's a fact. Luann says, sorry, but I like using cap. You ain't listen. Use the caps all you want. You are fine. That's what you like to do. Go ahead and do it. Who am I to tell you how to write comments down? Do your thing. I was just messing with you. Sean Jackson says, what up, Dash? True, JDJ, about NYG injuries. I think the last time the Giants had a real good home record was in 2022 when Carl Banks called out Kayvon. Years ago, he responded, Big Dex, step up. I forgot about that. Lucas says, legacy jersey so tough and the helmets. That's a fact. Like, come on. It's easy. Get the fans what they want. I don't know what the players think. I don't know which jersey the players like the most, but as far as the fan base goes, I think it's unanimous. I think it is. I might be wrong though. Luann says we win tomorrow. Playoff are in reach. Many winnable games at home and on the road. Listen, right now obviously we're 2-6. In order to get to the playoffs, you got to win at least 9 games, in my opinion, if you're trying to make the wild card. Because I don't think anybody's catching the Eagles unless they absolutely collapse. When you look at the Commanders, they're right there. They're in reach. Dallas, right there in reach. But it's all about what we do. In order for us to make the playoffs, we got 9 games left. We got to go like 7-2. And I ain't even joking. Just for a chance to get a wild card, we got to go 7-2 in the next 9 games. If you believe that's possible, listen, keep sending that positive energy in the atmosphere. Maybe we'll see something spectacular happen. But we got to go 7-2 for the playoffs. I'm not putting that type of pressure on this rookie quarterback. I just want to see that kid develop. I want to see Marcus Bowe get some snaps. I want to see Thomas Fidone get involved. I want to see Tyler Nubin get better. I want to see Javon Holland, once he comes back, get better. I want to see the defense start to gel. I want to see a lot of things. That 7-2 is asking a lot. And I know in 2022, we started off the season at 7-2. It's not impossible. But how probable is it? I don't know. Manny Banks says, what white? You said the white legacy jerseys? Oh, you mean the throwbacks? Listen, I like the throwbacks too. I mean, not the throwbacks. You talk about the color rush. I like the color rush too. Color rush is dope. The color rush, the helmet is a little bit different because it's the new blue versus the navy blue that we're going to see tomorrow with the legacy jerseys. I always was a fan of the color rush jersey. I thought they were super plain, but they was clean. Like those white color rush jerseys, I love them. Funny thing is, have we ever won a game in those in those color rush jerseys? You let me know. Have we ever won one? I don't know. Leo Lucas says, I like the NY on the helmet. It says gray pants, black cleats, red retro jerseys last worn in 2011, retro 1950s. I never really liked the red jerseys. I'm going to just be honest. I never really liked the maybe because I think we barely won in them red jerseys. I really didn't like the red jerseys. Some people love the red jerseys. I wouldn't mind seeing it again, maybe with a little bit of a twist on it. We'll see what happens. Couch Coach Thomas says, playoffs? Playoffs? Listen, man, if you're going to dream big. Or what's the point of dreaming? James Fraser says, hell no, we definitely ain't going 7-2. Steve Mully says it's possible, Dash, and anything's possible. Kevin Garnett voice. Luann says, do you think, go ahead and type in the caps, Luann. You can type in the caps. Go ahead and do it. You're just fine. Do you think Abdul Carter was overhyped? I don't believe he was overhyped because he's getting a ton of pressures. Right now, and I say this respectfully, this is a respectful comment. Right now, Abdul Carter is the king of the almost sack. He's the king of it. He's getting all the pressure in the world. I need that to turn into sacks. So I don't think he was overhyped because he is getting there. I do believe this. If we can get the cornerbacks to hold on for like a half a second longer, that's all he needs. That's how close Abdul Carter is. Just a half a second. Just a half a second longer, make that quarterback think about it or hold on to it for like a half a second longer. He probably has about 7 sacks this year already. If that happens, just a half a second. He is so close. I can't call him overhyped because he's beating the blockers in front of him. We only seen a couple of times where somebody got the best of him. He's getting held like crazy. We see our whole damn defense is getting held like crazy. Philly was holding like crazy last week, but again, we're gonna leave that alone. But nah, I don't think he's overhyped because he is getting to where he needs to get. He just needs to get there either a little bit faster or that secondary got to hold up for about a half a second or a second if you want to be safe. Listen, C. Molly says I can see a touchdown pass to JW. Oh, Jalen Waddle and him doing the Waddle. Oh yeah, if we got him, absolutely. People be in the stands doing the Waddle dance if we got Jalen Waddle for sure. I'm still waiting on the Giants to start selling Star Wars capes and eye paint and lightsabers. They need to go ahead and holler at Disney, make sure it's okay for them to sell them. But this Jackson Dart thing is going to be something for a while. Was it Don? Is it Don Valadares, right? Valadares? He says, you live for the game. Absolutely not, Don. I can't do it. A lot of people ask me if I can go live for games. I can't do it. I'm emotionally unstable. When I'm watching the New York Giants play, you can ask my wife. I am emotionally unstable. You might guess what? You might get a kick out of it. You guys might fall down laughing at some of my reactions because I'll be bugging. Absolutely bugging. Especially if we messing up. You're going to have to cover your kids' ears and all that other stuff. I try to keep it clean on the channel. But if I'm watching a game, just emotions get the best of me. That's why I have not gone live for games. I tried it once at like for a half of a preseason game. I can't even do it during preseason. So listen, you guys might laugh, but the show would be trash if I did lives. I would need a co-host in order to do a live. In all honesty, but also I'm too invested. I'm worried about the score. Also, one thing that I noticed, because I used to watch other people go live during games, and sometimes when you're in the chat, not everybody's on the same stream time. As far as some people are ahead of you, some people are behind you. I don't want nobody ruining. Like if we score, if we make a mistake, and you put it in the chat and I see it before I actually see it, I'm gonna be upset. So that's some of the reasons why I don't. I don't know if they're good reasons or not, but they're good reasons for me. James says he also hates the red jerseys. Playoffs. That's a fact. Almost Carter, that's crazy. Said Abdul Carter almost. Listen, I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. Again, I don't know who watches these shows. I don't know if the New York Giants players are bored at night on a Saturday before a game and they want to lock in with Giants Nation, Big Blue Nation, and they want to see the vibe of the fan base. I wouldn't say they don't. It would surprise me if they did, but I can't say that a player's not watching this right now, so I want to be respectful. Almost Carter is hilarious, but it's only hilarious because it's true. Secondary got to hold on just a little bit. It wouldn't be fun. Listen, it wouldn't be. Almost Carter wouldn't be funny if it wasn't true. He is the king of the almost. Listen, at some point in time, he's going to get there. And when he gets there, everybody's going to be like, yeah, that's who we was waiting for. Because right now, he's getting a ton of pressure. Respect for the pressures. Jane Fraser says Leonard Williams was the king of almost sack. That's a fact. Who else was the king of almost? Olivier Vernon. He was another one. Leonard Williams is a dog right now, though. He's out there in Seattle killing it. Paul. Not pause, but please don't hit me with a infraction for saying those words. You know what I mean in football terms. He's out there doing a very, 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 very good job. Very good job. Manny says we need to draft a cornerback. Yeah, probably two of them. Maybe two of them. LV Shore says how he's supposed to get one when my man Burns snatching all of them. Burns might make it to 20. Burns probably cracked 20 sacks. They stole one from him last week because he was supposed to. He's at 10 now, right? Yeah, he's at 10. They stole one. He had 2 last week, but they ended up taking one of the sacks away and giving and splitting it with somebody else. I don't know if it was Carter and Nacho. Anyway, he was supposed to have 2 last week and they took it away from him. It is what it is. I think he hits 20. I think Brian Burns gets 20 sacks. And hopefully tomorrow he gets 5. I need him to run away with it. I need something. From these Giants. Something to cheer about. Shout out to the Juke in the building. What's going on, the Juke? Another fantastic New York Giants content creator. I really mean that. If you're not subscribed to my man, the Juke, make sure you go ahead and do that. He says, smell a dub tomorrow. Dart effect. I'm with you. Absolutely. Jesse says, Dash, OC head coach got to go get Harbaugh. Oh, get Harbaugh's brother Harbaugh. Listen, man, we saw the Ravens last night. I mean, not last night. We saw the Ravens Thursday night. Lamar Jackson is back, so expect them to win some games. And expect him to save Harbaugh's job. That's what I expect to see. Remember what the Ravens looked like the past 3 weeks. The Ravens looked absolutely horrible. Horrible. As soon as Lamar Jackson gets back, what happens? How fast? Listen, it is what it is. You see what a difference a quarterback makes. You see it. You see it. Sean Jackson's dash, a 7-2 Giants finish to this regular season with clinch dart for Offensive Rookie of the Year and save Dave's. Listen, a 7-2 run saves everybody, even Shane Bowen, in my opinion. And I would hate that. I would hate that. 7-2 run. 7. If you put good things in the atmosphere, maybe they come back. 7-2 run for the Giants. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to push till we can't. 7-2 run starts tomorrow. Let's see if that works. Let's see if that works. Puma J says, LOL, I'll be bugging the F out watching the game. I'm telling you, I'll be wilding. My wife be telling me, you got to sit down. You can't be doing that. You're not as young as you used to be. You gonna mess around and listen, I'll be wilding. I'm not even joking. I'll be going crazy. I'll be going crazy. Absolutely crazy. He says, sounds like my kind of live. Listen. Yeah, no, I'm not doing it. Y'all ain't about to peer pressure me into this. Nope. Nah. Yeah, y'all not about to peer pressure me into this. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. MBX has a question for anybody, everybody. He says, anyone going to the game tomorrow? I know a few. Well, we are. Who's that? Look at, I'm fumbling all over my word. Born for Sports. My man Jorge should be there. My man Mark Stewart most likely will be there. The whole Section 33, 330 crew is going to be there. I don't know who else. If you're going, let me know. Jesse Mine says, pay Burns now. We already paying him. In about a year, we're probably going to have to, tear up that contract though and give him some new money. It depends. We just paid him though. The contracts that we need to look at whether or not we're going to sign re-sign Illuminor. You got Cordell Flott that's up for a contract. You got Daniel Bellinger. You got Belton. You got Wandell Robinson. It's a lot of people that are up for contracts. So Burns is already paid for. Tibbs is already paid for, but he might hold out and might not play on the 5th-year option. We'll see what happens with that. Andrew Thomas signed, sealed, and delivered all the way to 2030 or 2029. Like Darius Slayton's paid, but it is what it is with that. So it is. Like Burns, we ain't gotta worry about Burns for a while. You might see a new deal for Dexter though coming up. You might see new money for Dexter, depending on what happens there. Obviously, some contracts might need to be touched in order to free up some cap space for the 2026. Again, we got a lot of people to sign because just think about it. Everybody that we don't sign, we got to replace them. So we got to sign people regardless. So in this case, go ahead and re-sign your good players. When's the last time the Giants really re-signed their good players? I don't think any of those prices break the bank either. Luann says, I wish Carter was like Parsons when he came into the league. Parsons had Dan Quinn when he came in the league, though. That's the difference. He had Dan Quinn. We got Shane Bowen. Big difference. JDJ says, chill, nothing saving Bowen's job. He might as well update his LinkedIn now. I hope you're right. Listen, first of all, I don't think we're going on the 7-2 run, first of all, and I said it already earlier in the live. Shane Bowen is weakened at Bernie's. He is Bernie. They are carrying around the dead. Brian Dable, Joe Shane, they are carrying around Shane Bowen. So they could just throw him to the wolves at the end of the season. The bad thing about it is if the defense continues to look bad, they're not going to be able to hold on to him for the rest of the season. They're going to end up having to throw him in the water early. And then what happens at the end of the season when we're still looking for, that pound of flesh, depending on what happens. LB Short says 7-2 run with a question mark. A Haitian that does voodoo. That's hilarious. You got to go live with with the WC game. Oh, talking about the Commanders game. If we pull that off, I'm not going live, bro. It's not happening. Yeah. It's not happening. It's not happening. Shout out to the 124 people still rocking with me, still vibing with the Big Blue Nation. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't hit that like button already. I done got off topic. Let me go back to my notes and see which points that I didn't talk about. Talked about Ray McLeod. Talked about Turbo Miller. That's a question. That's a question I have for you guys. What has to happen for Turbo Miller to actually get called up from the practice squad? What has to happen? And I've been going back and forth with a lot of people. They said, well, he's just not good enough to be brought up from the practice squad. If that's the case, why is he even on the practice squad? Somebody tell me why. Why is he even on the practice squad if we can't even bring him up? That's crazy. That's crazy. Shout out to my man Phil with the $5 super chat. Let me go ahead and get the music going for Phil. I need dollar is what I need. Phil says, 2006 we started 6-2, finished 2-6, made the playoffs and lost to that team. I've seen some crazy seasons over the years. Anything can happen. Let's effing go. I hear you. Listen, I would love it. Footlong says 10,000 subscribers and we get a live game. That might get it done. That might get it done. Maybe that might get it done. We almost there, man. We about 450 subscribers short from 10K, man. Shout out to everybody. That was the goal when the channel first started. Actually, and I keep saying this, the goal when I first started this channel was 100 subscribers. If I get 100 subscribers, that was fantastic. From there, it was 1,000 subscribers. From there, we built it to 10,000 subscribers. Shout out to my man Prince Castro. Told me way back in 2022, say, hey, you're going to hit that 10K soon. Now, he said that 3 years ago. I forget the exact thing that Prince Castro said, but it was something like that, and we almost hit Prince Castro. Shout out to Prince Castro, too. One of the day one homies for sure. Luann says, you're right. I believe Shane Bowen doesn't use his players the right way. I wish we had Spags. A lot of people talk about Spags. It ain't just you, Luann. I saw it on Twitter. Oh, I would love to get Spags back. Spags can be our head coach. Spags is 65 years old, playing for a Super Bowl contender year after year after year. They went to 7 straight AFC championships. 7 straight AFC championships. He ain't going nowhere. Spags ain't going nowhere until Andy Reid retires. They probably going to retire together and ride off to the sunset. The way that team is moving, as long as Patrick Mahomes is a quarterback, they can go into cruise control for the next, how many years you think Pat Mahomes got left? If Pat Mahomes plays for another 7-8 seasons, I think he can still go another 7-8 seasons, possibly, unless he just sick of the game. He done won 12 Super Bowls or something crazy like that. I don't know. But the whole point is, as long as Patrick Mahomes is on that team, Andy Reid, Spags, why would they leave? They call it a kingdom for a reason. Why would you leave that kingdom? I don't even like the Chiefs like that. It is what it is. Shout out to Spags, though. What Spags can do with this defense, I would pay money for that. That's for sure. I might get on a season ticket list if Spags was a defensive coordinator. We know how long that list is. JDJ says for these legacy games, they should just let us bring back an old coaching coordinator. Who they gonna bring back? Who they gonna bring back? Bill Parcells? Oh, Tom Coughlin? Oh, who they bringing back? Who do you want back after that? If it ain't Bill Parcells, if it ain't Tom Coughlin, who you bringing? Who do you want to bring back? You don't want to bring back McAdoo. You don't want to bring back Shermer. You don't want to bring back Judge. You don't want to bring back. Then you go into the 90s. Who you bringing back? Rest in peace, Jim Fossil. Who else you bringing back? Reeves? Yeah, that's a fact. Shout out to my man Prince Castro. He says my boy Pizzle got the longest run Giants channel. You got the fastest growing Giants channel. I appreciate that. Shout out to Cop Pizzle too, man. Shout out to Cop Pizzle. Prince says bring back Sherman and DJ. Come on, Prince. Listen, you know what's crazy about that, Prince? Sherman had Daniel Jones looking like he was going to be a guy, looking like we had something for sure. And then what happened? Judge came. The clapper came. That sounds crazy too. Talking about Garrett. The clapper came. Then Judge came and Dable. And then you look at Daniel Jones now with Shane Steichen. That's not even a fire name for a head coach. Shane Steichen sounds like he does taxes. I'm gonna take my I'm gonna take my W. I'm gonna take my income back over to Shane Steichen and get it done. That's what Shane Steichen sounds like, tax services. And now the freaking Colts are 7-1. Daniel Jones is in the MVP talks. I'm in the twilight zone. I'm trying to figure out what happened. I'm waiting for Jordan Key to pop out somewhere and let me know this is all a part of a script. This is a movie. It's not real, but it's very, very real. It's very real. I want to see that game too, Colts versus Steelers. But obviously they're playing at the same time we're playing. I'm curious to see what happens in that game. Prince says, yes, bro, because he drafted him to run his offense. And yeah, bro, surviving Joe Judge and Garrett. Yeah, listen, the clapper was a problem, man. The clapper was a problem. JDJ says, give me Parcells, the coach, and Belichick for the defense. Belichick got too much baggage right now. You give me Belichick 5 years ago, possibly. There you go, the ghost of John McVay. That's another curse for us. I would love his grandson to coach the team, Sean McVay. But he holding the grudge against the Giants. We already know that. That dark friend says thinks Spags gets big bucks as a DC. He got to be one of the highest paid DCs. Got to be. But on top of that, you're already winning. That's a well-oiled machine over there. If you to get Spags to the Giants, not only will you have to pay him a lot, but then you got to also build it. The man is 65 years old. He might got 5 years of coaching left in him, if we're being honest. And then what happens after that? We right back to the drawing board. For me, again, what I want to happen won't happen because Brian Flores is suing the New York Giants. He's suing the NFL. That's who I would love to have as a head coach. Give me Brian Flores. Give me Josh McCown as an OC. I would love to see that. I want a defensive-minded head coach. Now, we can figure out what we're going to figure out with Jackson Dart, but Jackson Dart has already proven that he's not just a system quarterback. He's a quarterback that can get it done. And I think he can get it done in whatever system. So give me a defensive head coach. A lot of people saying, we got to keep Brian Dable just for Dart. No, we don't. Brian Dable has proven this season and all these other seasons. He's not a head coach. He's an offensive coordinator in over his head just a bit. And I do apologize, Brian Dable, if you're watching right now. I apologize, but I don't want to lie to the people. I feel like you're an offensive coordinator that's acting like a head coach or in over his head with the responsibilities of a head coach. Prove me wrong, right? Prove me wrong. It's out there. We've seen example after example. Curse of Eli Manning. What's the curse of Eli Manning? That's a new one. You got to tell me what the curse of Eli Manning is. You let me know what that is. I ain't never heard that one. LV Shaw says, F it, give me the coach from the Little Giants. You talk about Rick Moranis. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Rick Moranis. Give me Al Bundy. I'll take Al Bundy right now. Give me Polk High, Married with Children, Al Bundy. I'll take that. 4 touchdowns in a single game, Polk High legend, give me Al Bundy. I'll take Al Bundy right now. right now. Couch Coach Thomas says another person from Zadge, but if Daboll's watching this craziness the night before the game, he needs to be fired. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. But you think Daboll get any sleep, really? Something got to put him to sleep. Something got to put him to sleep. JJ the King says, "Give me Thanos. We can snap the season away, right?" You use one of those stones to rewind the time, right? Start Dart at the beginning of the season. Make sure Dart doesn't throw that pass short to Malik Neighbors where he tears his knee up, right? There's a couple things I would want to rewind. Shout out to the Man Cave in the building. What's going on, Man Cave? He said, salute Dash. Dream scenario will be Spags as head coach, Cliff Kingsbury as OC, and Wink as defensive coordinator. Here I am playing around. You being dead serious. Listen. You think you can get Wink back? And then also, Spags is a 4-3 guy. Wink is a 3-4 guy. Listen, I like the names. Cliff Kingsbury. One thing about Cliff Kingsbury. Is it Cliff Kingsbury or is it Jaden Daniels? Which one is it? It might be both. I'm not a big fan of Cliff Kingsbury. Like last year, what he did with the Commanders, I think that was more about what Jaden Daniels was doing instead of Cliff Kingsbury. But you got to give him credit. He's out there calling the plays. They're executing his plays. Jesse says Bowen got to go, Dash. That's a fact. I believe it. You know what, man? All jokes aside, Bowen might be actually tuned in. Maybe wouldn't surprise me. He might be. He probably watching. He probably still watching tape of the Denver game, having nightmares, waking up in cold sweats. But I didn't get a chance to do that. If you're not subscribed to my man, the Man Cave, make sure you go ahead and do that. Another fantastic content creator out here in this Giants universe. Shout out to my man, the Man Cave. Got to show love to the people, man. Got to show love to this Giants content community for sure. Shout out to everybody. D Brown said, "What up, chat? What's going on, D Brown? How we doing, D Brown?" D Brown says, "Let's get another win. Big Blue." Now, listen, I do think it's a winnable game. I haven't even really talked about this game, really. I think I don't talk about the games because I think like the keys to the victory are the same. I didn't even put out a keys to victory video this week. Sometimes I feel like those videos might be a waste of time, and I'm not here for wasting people's time. We having a good time tonight. But the keys to victory are this: run the ball, stop the run. And that's why I don't do key to victory videos. The video will be over in 10 seconds. My intro would play. I will have an opening like the New York Giants face the San Francisco 49ers. The keys to victory are stopping the run and running the ball. Everybody have a good night. That's it. Run the ball, stop the run. Get after the quarterback. Let your playmakers make plays. Let Jackson Dart lead this team down the field. Get the tight ends involved. Get the running game involved. It's the same thing over and over again. Over and over again. Luann says, "I like the 4-3 defense." I do too. Bowen can't do 3-4. He tried. Bowen can't do nothing right now. The hybrid lineup sucks. The only time Bowen really looks good is when everybody, the front four, are winning their one-on-ones. Because he don't want to send the blitz. He doesn't want to send the blitz. Some of the stunts look good. Again, that's player execution. I need to see more aggressiveness. Let me see a corner blitz. Let me see a safety blitz. I understand what we're giving up in the back end. Pause. But we're hoping that, the blitzer gets there. Disrupts things. We got to do something, man. Because what we're doing right now, it ain't good enough. Is it PW Cho 50? I'm stressed out. My Dodgers are down by 1, and I'm already preparing myself to see our DBs get cooked tomorrow. You got to let me know how to pronounce your name first. Is it PW Cho or is it Pacho? Pow Cho 50. Let me know because I'm curious now. What inning is that? Is the World Series or Game 7 in? What? Somebody let me know real quick. What inning are they in? You're down 1. Listen, as long as you got Ohtani out there, and if he gets to bat, There's a chance. Let me know what inning they're in because I haven't watched one World Series game in this series. Not one. Not even interested. Bottom of the sixth. Oh man, calm down. You be all right. You be all right. Down one. Bottom of the sixth. You be all right. They've been fighting back already. They fought back. They fought back and forced a game 7. Listen, it is what it is. You might be back-to-back World Series champions. Maybe. I can't say go Dodgers though. I can't. I'm a Yankees fan. Can't say go Dodgers. I will say, best of luck to you. Bottom of the sixth. Thank you very much. 3-2, bottom of the sixth. Blue Jays up. Thank you. Couch Coach Tommy says, I got to be honest. I'm not sure. I'm not so sure I'm looking for wins. The more losses, the better the chance of a new coaching staff next year. See, that's the dilemma. That's the dilemma that I'm in, that I find myself in right now because I always root for wins, no matter what. I always root for wins. Even when we needed a quarterback, I was always rooting for wins. Now, when we would lose, I would be less upset, after the fact, after the initial, watching the game and being mad and yelling at my TV. I understood what the bigger picture was. It was getting in a position to take your quarterback. Well, we had the number 3 overall pick. We didn't take the quarterback then. We traded up in the back end of the first and got Jackson Dart. So now I'm sitting here like, okay, we have Jackson Dart already on the roster. You got your future. I don't want to jinx him. I feel that way though. We got your future franchise quarterback. I don't really care where we're picking. Just get a good player, and you better be right. Obviously, there's certain positions that I'm, targeting in the draft. Wide receiver being one, defensive line being one, a linebacker for sure, cornerback. Listen, we got a lot of holes, and we got a lot of spots that need some help. But I'm not stressing like I was stressing the last 2 seasons, where I was just looking at quarterbacks every week. College football was like a chore. It was like doing chores watching college football because I was looking to see, what quarterback. This guy might be here when we're picking. This guy might be there if we're picking. Do we need to trade up? What can we give up? I don't even have to worry about that anymore. I'm just enjoying college football again. Just like I'm enjoying Giants football again. Whether we win or lose, we look way more interesting. Real Prince Castro says, "Hi, need a performance like the Alabama game. Say what you want, but he got busy in Denver. Almost put the nail in the coffin, but Dart overthrew by yeah. And a lot of people want to blame Hyatt for that throw. Say, oh, Hyatt wasn't even running. Did you see how quick he put Patrick Surtain in the trail position? Now Jalen Hyatt, he looks like he's jogging. It's something about his strides, the way he runs, his motion, but I assure you he is flying because I've never seen somebody eat up space on Patrick Surtain like that and get behind him. And that was Patrick Surtain we're talking about. This one of the best corners in the league, and he had him by about 2 yards, but he overthrew him again. To my man Prince Castro's point, but he overthrew him by like another 2 yards. Some people say maybe he should have jumped. Maybe he should have. But he had him beat. He had Patrick Surtain beat for sure. Now, I'm not saying that he can do that, play in and play out. I'm just saying on that particular play, he had that man beat. And listen, Jackson Dart's going to clean those things up. I will say this when it comes to Jackson Dart, if I want to just nitpick things, footwork. Understand he's making plays. He's out there extending plays and stuff like that. Footwork matters. A lot of those balls fall short, or a lot of those balls, are overthrows because of the footwork. And as soon as he cleans those things up, I can't wait because he's going to be phenomenal. He's definitely going to be phenomenal. Jesse says, Dash, curse of Eli Manning due to judgment. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm going to say something, right? Because at that point in time when Eli Manning got benched, I thought Eli Manning needed to be benched. At that point in time, Eli Manning was a shell of himself. If you say otherwise, you're lying to yourself. And also, when Eli Manning was benched, don't act like Daniel Jones ain't go out there and get back-to-back wins. He was checked down Eli at the time. It wasn't even his fault. They never got him an offensive line after 2012. Yes, they got him Odell Beckham, but no offensive line, what does it matter? Him and Odell Beckham was doing slants for 3 seasons. It was all slants and Odell Beckham going crazy. I don't think that was worthy of a curse. And remember, he did start the last game of that season, and he ended his career with a dub. The fans were chanting his name. Daniel Jones was on the bench with an injury. I remember that part too. Jesse also says, Dash O-line is a necessity, bro. I'm watching Miami and Wisconsin O-lines. There's a couple of offensive linemen that I like. Obviously got the kids from Utah. But I don't think we take an offensive lineman in the first round. When you get into that day 2, you got guys like what's Brian Parker from Duke is a nice one. Jennings Dunker most likely is going to be a first round pick, the kid from Iowa, but he might be there at the second round if we're lucky if he falls. Not sure if that happens. It depends on what happens with the quarterback. Because right now you probably see 3 quarterbacks go in the first, even though I don't think 3 quarterbacks are worthy for first round picks. But who do you like on that Wisconsin offensive line? I'm curious. Luann says Dart loves Dable, so leave it alone. Dable have 1 more year. Let it play out. Listen, listen. Dable is in control of his own. Well, I can't even say that. He's not in control of his own fate. He's depending on his team to win games in order to save his job. And I don't care who Dart loves. Dart probably loved every coach that ever coached him. So what's love got to do with it? I don't care if Dart loves Dable, Dable loves Dart. I need somebody to come in here and coach the New York Giants, not the New York Darts. Get in here and coach. When Dart went into that tent, Brian Dable was so obsessed with what was going on, and I'm using the word obsessed because I believe he was so obsessed with what was going on with Jackson Dart. The offense was still on the field. The offense played 2 plays. And where was Brian Dable? Worried about Jackson Dart. Your whole offense, you got 11 other people on the field right now. It's earpiece falling out my ear and everything. You got 11 guys on the field. You got an offense to run still. As soon as he went in the tent, Brian Dable he didn't know what to do. And I understand Russell is Russell. It was a running play, and then it was a bad pass he threw into the dirt. But the whole point is, what if Dart would have stayed in that tent another 5 minutes? What are you going? You got a game to coach. You got a team to coach, and that's what I'm talking about. Dable. There's not too many things that I like from Charlie from Maine. Shout out to Charlie from Maine. But Charlie from Maine has a nickname for Brian Dable. He calls him Dable Unstable, and he has proven that nickname to be right. He is unstable. He can get away with it when we're winning. Like, remember his first year? He would have those blow-ups on the sideline. Nobody cared. Why didn't anybody care? Because we were winning. But then you got 3 more seasons, follow that up with 2 seasons of losing. And now we're in this season. It gets old. It then just looks bad. It's a bad look. Just a bad look. Tony Benino says I wouldn't trust Shane to make draft picks. No. The last 2 drafts, people are happy about those last 2 drafts, especially when the season started. And then now you're starting to see the people from the last draft struggle as well. Who's those guys? We saw Andrew Phillips struggle, beyond 20 yards, beyond 15 yards. He becomes a liability. Again, I do apologize if any Giants players are watching. I got to be truthful, though. Andrew Phillips, love him in supporting the run, love him with all the underneath stuff, love him with the short intermediate routes. He's out there making plays. As soon as he's trailing, barbecue chicken. Barbecue chicken. 15 yards, 20 yards, 30 yards downfield. You're sitting here like this with Phillips in coverage. Now teams are starting to target him. They're starting to line Andrew Phillips up. Tyler Nubin. I was fighting so hard for Tyler Nubin. We saw him last week on the second play of the game. Barbecue chicken. All Saquon Barkley did was stare at him, and he froze. Touchdown, Saquon Barkley. If I'm lying, I'm flying. That's your 2024 class right there. That's the guys that we raved about. We raved about Tyler Nubin. Obviously, Malik Neighbors, leave that alone. But we raved about Tyler Nubin and what he looked like. We raved about Andrew Phillips and what he looked like. And these guys this year are struggling. So tell me, I can't trust Joe Shane either. But you know what? Maybe all of these guys are better if we had a better defensive coordinator at the end of the day. And I do believe that, because I don't believe that Tyler Nubin all of a sudden is just trash. I don't believe it. I saw him at Minnesota. I watched him. He was the top safety. He had his football IQ was off the charts. He was physical. He was baiting quarterbacks and getting interceptions at Minnesota, playing in the Big Ten. So it wasn't like he was playing some bums. And then all of a sudden he gets to the Giants, and it's almost like Space Jam. Remember Space Jam when they stole all the players' powers and ability? Shane Bowen is the freaking aliens from Space Jam. All of a sudden people can't play. Shane Bowen gets here. Bobby Okereke looks like what? Shout out to Bobby Okereke. I'm just saying. Shane Bowen got to go. Shane Bowen. Oh, man. 4-2 Blue Jays. Well, might have spoke too soon. Well. See, Mully says Wandell or a 4th round pick for Waddle. Oof. Wandell and a 4th round pick for Waddle. They're not taking that for Waddle. They're not taking that for Waddle. They got to turn around and pay Wandell Robinson too. You're not getting the same production. Nah. You gotta throw a second, or you got to give up a first, in my opinion, for Waddle. There's a lot of good wide receivers coming out next year. We saw one on display today. We saw Carnell Tate for Ohio State today. I tuned in for the Arizona State game, but Jordan Tyson wasn't even playing. They missing their quarterback and their wide receiver. You got Denzel Boston that's out there. You got Mekhi Lemon from USC. It's some good wide receivers out there. We got to get one of them. Fighter's Destiny said those 3-yard slants actually work. Talking about, that was it. Odell to the house, 3-yard slant. Dust. Nobody catching them. D Brown says Colts balling happy for DJ. They got to turn around and pay that man too. They got to turn around and pay that man. Hopefully for them, he don't turn into a pumpkin. Because right now it's some Cinderella stuff happening in Indianapolis. It's some Cinderella at the ball stuff happening. Daniel Jones got on the glass slippers and all that. Next year is probably midnight. We'll see what happens. Does he turn back into a pumpkin, or is he really just Cinderella now? Let me know. NYG Frank, what's going on, NYG Frank? Big Dash, what up? The Giants offense could win the game tomorrow, but the defense needs to stop the run. God bless. What I tell you, everybody knows. Shout out to my man NYG Frank too. He know. Old school. Got to be able to stop the run. You got to put Christian McCaffrey in the blender tomorrow. You got to put Brian Robinson in the blender tomorrow. Who's the other guy's name? What's his name? Spanish. He got the Spanish last name. Got to put him in the blender tomorrow. That's where that game starts, is with the run. Christian McCaffrey. He said, "What's love?" Ashanda? Yeah, what's love got to do with it for sure? What's love got to do with it? I don't believe Charlie from Maine is actually a Giants fan. A lot of people don't eat the hooks. That's a fact. Shout out to my man Hooks Rubs and Spices. Thank you for being in the chat. Thank you for vibing with me tonight. Now, Hooks and Rubs is not a Giants content creator. At least I don't think he is. But he does make fantastic rubs for the people out there that are pit masters. So Hooks, I don't know if you got a YouTube channel as well where you're doing that, but make sure you guys check out Hooks from Hooks Rubs and Spices so you can go ahead and get yourself right for these barbecues. For a lot of people, listen, it might be cold on the East Coast. But a lot of us on the West Coast, I am in the West Coast. If y'all didn't know, I am actually in the West Coast, New Jersey, born and raised. I've been on the West Coast for a while now. It's still barbecue weather out here for me. It might still be barbecue weather for you. Some of you probably don't even care. You probably barbecue when it's 2 degrees outside. You're my kind of people. Make sure you guys, hit up my man Hooks Rubs, man. Shout out to my man Hooks Rubs, man. Giants content. Let's do it. James Frazier with the dollar super chat says nothing. Just gave me some love and support. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, James Frazier. If you got something to say, go ahead and put it in the chat, and I'll find it. He says, "Oh my God, I'm dead. Dable unstable is crazy work." That's Charlie. That's Charlie. I can't even take credit for that. That's Charlie. That's Charlie right there. DB from EP Live. Is that how we do it? Shout out to you. He says, "Rather my coach blow up on the sideline than just sit there and smile like Jason Garrett." Don't forget the clapping. Jason Garrett. That's Jason Garrett. That's my impression of Jason Garrett. That's him. Couch Coach Tommy says Dable took a playoff game winning team and turned them into perennial losers, 2-6 for the next 3 years. Team's not getting better. I truly believe that John Mara jinxed Brian Dable. He told Brian, well, he didn't tell Brian Dable. He said, "Be careful, because one day they love you, one day they'll hate you. You can go from Bono to Bozo." And boy, that man turned into Bozo the Clown for real, and it's crazy. He said, "Who the hell is Andrew Phillips?" Andrew Phillips, and there's no EW, it's just a U at the end. Andrew Phillips. Drew Phillips. You know who Drew Phillips is. Jesse says, "Dad sent Neil Wilson as a trade for a kicker." Whatever you want to give me for Evan Neal, I'm taking it. I already told you I'll take a Cat's sandwich, a Cat's deli sandwich. Give me the what's it, the number 18? I don't know what it's called. But go ahead, give me the sandwich. If you want Wilson for a kicker, you can go ahead and do that. You can go ahead and do that. You know what's crazy? Illuminor might not play tomorrow, and Evan Neal still won't get a jersey. Illuminor might not play tomorrow, and James Hudson still might not get a jersey. And we talk about Joe Shane. Joe Shane gave James Hudson $12 million, and he can't get a jersey. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Oh, you was really asking. I thought you was joking. Yeah, Drew Phillips. His name is Andrew Phillips, but we call him Drew Phillips now. I thought you was joking at first. Faze says, "As a Mets fan, it's nice to see Yankee fans hating on Toronto." Listen, it is what it is. Luann says Rex Ryan is available, and there's a reason why Rex Ryan is available. As a head coach, or are you talking about a DC? You let me know. I don't want him as a head coach. We gotta stop going back. We need to go forward. We gotta look to the future. We can't. We keep on trying to go back. We keep on and listen. I understand, as Giants fans, all our best years are in the past. So I understand why we always want to go back and try to bring something from the old to the new. No, we need to find something new and rebrand these New York Giants. We actually are. We're being rebranded right now. Jackson Dart is doing that by himself. Just think about all these young Giants fans right now. These Giants fans that were born, to Giants fans, and now they get a chance to see Jackson Dart. It was kind of like that fan base that was in between that got to see OBJ. And then they kept Giants fandom alive. And then it was Saquon Barkley that kept Giants fandom alive. And then we're like, wait, what's going on? Who's going to be the next guy? And then finally, here we go with Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbull. Just think about this. We're at least going to have these guys for at least together for at least 3 more seasons together. Jackson Dart is going to be here for 5 seasons total, and then whatever extension he gets, if he's playing well, he's going to get paid. But Cam Scatterboo and Jackson Dart, you can't even split these guys up now. We're going to be able to we're going to be able and fortunate enough to watch these guys grow and play together for at least 4 seasons, at least 4 more seasons, and I love that. I love that. I'm not trading Tyrone Tracy. I'm sorry. Said trade Tracy Hyatt Slayton for a starting guard and a 2 or 2 third-round picks. I'm not getting rid of Tracy. You can't get rid of Tracy. And we'll see tomorrow. Tracy's going to have him a pretty good game tomorrow. I really do believe that. I think Tracy has himself a good game. One thing that I think it was a humbling experience when he got hurt and to see Cam Scatterboo do what he did. And now he's coming back. Now we're leaning on him to be the guy again, kind of like last year, because we had Devin Singletary start the year last year. And then he gets hurt and had the fumbling issues. Tyrone Tracy comes out and has a nice season, nice breakout season for a 5th-round pick. And you go into the season being the number 1 guy with Cam Scatterboo behind you, and he was pushing you the whole time. He's pushing Tyrone Tracy the whole time. Now Tyrone Tracy is that guy again, once again. And we'll see what. You know what's crazy? The main part of the show we didn't even get a chance to talk about, so we're gonna do this real quick too. It's a big part of the show. It was the reason why, I got a couple of player grades. We're gonna play a game, right? So we got player grades for the New York Giants. So I'm going to ask you guys this. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom. It's going to be a fresh chat. So if I missed your chat, I apologize. But if I start this, I'm not going to get caught up. And I will, once I ask the question, I'll go ahead and do it. Shout out to my man Roldy in the building. What's going on, Roldy? Said Big Dash, what up, brother? Love your content. Keep getting Roldy, man. What's going on, Roldy? How you been, brother? We miss you in the chat, man. We miss you in the chat, Roldy. So I have 4 players right now, mid-season grades. I got 4 players right now that I gave an A grade to. I got 2 on offense. I got 3 on offense, 1 on defense. Let me see what the guesses are. Who I'm giving a grade to this season. 1 on defense, 3 on offense. Let me see what some of these guesses are. And then let me get to some of these comments while these guesses are coming in. Luann says we will win the Super Bowl with Dart and Scatterboo and Neighbors. I believe so. We just got to win it by 2029 and keep the streak alive. That's what we need to do. We got the first guess, Burns. Burns is on this list. Burns is one of the 4 that I'm giving an A to this year. Rody said, I'm doing good. Still in the chat watching. I ain't going nowhere. That's a fact, man. Shout out to my man Rody for sure. All right, hold on. Manny says, Dart, Burns, Scat, AT. Listen, you the first one to get it, brother. That's exactly who I got. I'm giving an A grade to Andrew Thomas for sure. Brian Burns gets an A from me. Cam Scatterboo gets an A from me. Jackson Dart also gets an A from me. I'm seeing you guys. Let's get some of these guesses in. I see it. My man Jet Life, Burns, Scat, Thomas, Dart. That's a fact. Fighter's Destiny says Brian Burns on defense. That's a fact. Burns, A+ from Big Mo. I didn't do pluses and minuses. Didn't do that. I'd have been here forever trying to do that. Carlos says Dart doesn't need Dable. Dable needs wins to say. Now, that's a fact. And also Dable needs Dart. Seth says Burns, Dart, Thomas, Robinson. Robinson was close. I'm giving it away. I'm giving it away for the next tier. But now Robinson was close. I'm liking the way Robinson is playing. MBX says Burns is the only A on defense. For me, yes, absolutely. He's the only A. I don't know if that's a question or you just saying as a statement agreeing with me. Scatterboo A, yep. Burns, Dart, Scat. Wow, I didn't even give Neighbors a grade. To be honest, I didn't give him a grade. He was going in the 4th game, but he was definitely getting the A. He was leading the league in receptions and leading the league in yards before he got hurt. So, yeah, he was definitely on that list. Fighter's Destiny says Scat, Thomas, Dart on offense. Now, that's a fact. Dart got an A for me, yes. And I think Dart can get even better. But right now, that's an A for me. Couch Coach Tommy, I'm giving Scat a B for. That's mean as hell. Coach Tommy, that's mean as hell. A B for broken is crazy. That's crazy. Phil says dash flat. I'm not. He didn't get an A from me. He didn't get an A from me. Again, I don't want to give away too many. I'm just saying. He didn't get an A from me. Close though. We gonna get there. Okay. So when it comes to players with a B grade, I still see your guesses in here now. Burns AT, Dart Scatterbull, Kirby Smart as coach. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. Coach D says Carter gets an F. Oh man. Oh, listen, calm down. We're gonna get there. This is about individual players. I'm gonna get to the units next. All right. So when it comes to players with a B grade that I have this year so far, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got five players. 5 players with a B for the New York Giants right now. 1, 2, 3. 3 on offense, 2 on defense. We can get these guesses in. I got, and I do show favoritism for one player. Let's see some of these. A lot of gets a C. Yeah, it's a lot of players with C's. I'm not even doing C's really. Said Carter and Tibbs got a B. Flock gets a C, is what you said. Tracy with I didn't give Tracy a B. I did not give Tracy a B. Shout out to my man, Couch Coach Tommy. I did give Daniel Bellinger a B. Again, that's the one that I show favoritism towards because I've been pushing Daniel Bellinger for a while. So yes, he is on the list. Let's see. PW Chow says Cho says Wandell, Tibbs, Flott, Illuminor, and Carter. Wandell, check. Thibodeau, check. Flott, check. Illuminor, check. I didn't give Carter a B. I didn't, and I should have. I had Carter at I was lying when I said I think Carter can be way better than what he's showing us right now. And that's the only reason why I did not give him a B. But Kayvon Thibodeau, I did not expect Kayvon Thibodeau to play as well as he's playing. I can't give him an A, but I'm damn sure giving him a B for this situation. Now, I did give Carter a C with the chances of getting to a B. And hold on, and listen, my grades ain't gospel. My grades are not gospel, so whatever your opinions are, they're valid as well. My man, the Big Moose says Jermaine Illuminor, Wandell Robinson, Tibbs, and Flott. I see it. Illuminor with a B. I think Illuminor is playing very well. He said Theo got a D. Pause. Listen, man, Theo be making me mad, man. Some of those drops, man. That drop that he got when Dart dropped it in the bucket on the left sideline, just in the bucket, and he drops it. That keeps the play alive. That puts you in the red zone. We can't have that. We can't have that. NYG fan for life 82 says I think Carter gets a B, impacts the game without the stats to show. And again, I agree with that. I wouldn't push against him getting the B. I'll take it. I'm just saying, for me, the expectations that I have for Carter versus what we're getting, and again, we're getting a lot of pressures, and we're close to being almost there. So that's why I'm still giving him a C on the season. I'm curious what he would give himself. Phil says Carter, Wandell, Tibbs, and the O-line. All right, so now this is a good part right here, because these are grades that I left open. We're talking about the units as a whole. These are the positional units as a whole this season. That means we're including everybody. But as a whole, how do you feel about the unit? Big Moose says B for Bellinger. He says he's definitely going to break through a B soon. Listen, some people might have him there already, and I'm not going to argue against that. Prince Castle said, you say Carter got an F, but I bet Brian Burns gives Carter a B. He probably does. Luann says Bellinger is my favorite tight end. He is. Illuminor B. Okay. Thomas got an A. Andrew Thomas got an A. Just so you know, if you missed that. B plus as a unit. Okay. So first unit is going to be, and this crazy too because we late in the show. I was supposed to do this at the beginning of the show, but we had such a great conversation tonight that I got away from it. And I got my notebook just staring at me in the face right now. So as a unit, grading the unit, I'm starting on the offensive side first. What are you giving the quarterback room for the New York Giants midway through the season? At the midway point, what are you giving the quarterbacks? Theo is a CD. Burns gets an A++. We're doing coding now, right? We're doing coding, computer coding, A++. Scat tried to get B's. Yeah. All right, so here we go. Quarterback room's coming in right now. Say young Hui got an A. That's crazy. That's crazy. QB room A- from Manny. Dart gets a B. Ed Liz said A. Gangstar says a B+. All right, QB A for sure. Somebody broke it down. That's against the rules. He broke it down. He says Jackson Dart A. Russell Wilson. Is that a F-? F- for Russ. Ed Liz says quarterback room maybe B+. Gangstar says kickers got an F. I didn't even put the kickers down here, to be honest. JJ the King says QB room. My honest grade is a B+. Okay, that's a QB room, so get those in. Next, the offensive line. As a unit, what are you giving the offensive line? So I'm going to write down a B for the quarterback room as like an average. So the offensive line is going to be next. What are we giving the offensive line this season? Russ got a trade. That's his grade, a trade. C- from Russ. That Dallas game was fantastic from Russ. Oh, I just caught what you did. JDJ says Russ gets a C error. That's funny. Hold on, O-line. Wow, the O-line just came in quick, so pause. He says PW Cho says O-line gets a B+. Manny says B+ for the O-line. Jesse says a C for the O-line. Jesse, really? This is the best O-line we've seen in a while. You giving them a C? That's crazy. It is what it is, though. I respect your opinion. Coach D says O-line gets a B. Sean says B+ for Dart's production. Okay. Freedom says a B+. I'm assuming he's talking about the O-line because that's what we're talking about. B- from Craig. Couch Coach says B-, C+. Bookend tackles. C+ for the O-line. Bookend. Come on, man. Bookend. Come on, man. C+. C. Come on, bookend. I respect it. Luann says Dart an A+ with the emoji plus. That was like a Jesus Christ plus. Wait, hold on. Where did Ed go? Ed Liz says JD gets an A, Russ an F. Jameis Winston, big vibes. You can't even put a grade on Jameis Winston. Craig says once Neighbors went down, you knew it was a wrap. True. Nah, you know what? It's crazy because we was fighting without Neighbors the first couple of games. That frat boy energy, what they called the whole Jackson scat thing. We probably would have been able to ride that wave for a couple of W's, man, before he got hurt for sure. All right, keep it to the offensive line because it's a lot coming in right now. Paul J Motor says B+ for the O line. Overall for the O line from Sean Jackson is B. Thomas, of course, an A. That's a fact. Andrew Thomas is playing at all pro level for sure. Coach D says line is playing well, but them old guards got to fall off the ledge. Yeah. Van Roten is done. I'm curious to see what happens with Marcus Bowe if they kick him inside next year, depending on what happens with Jermaine Illuminor, for sure. All right, so next room is going to be the wide receiver room. What are we giving the wide receiver room midway through the season? If you want to include Neighbors and what he did at the beginning of the season, go ahead and do that. But let me know. Bookend says AT got an A+. I hear you. Coach gives the wide receiver room a C, and we'll wait for some more to come in. Don says a B. Luis says a C. C. So wide receiver room a D+ from Puma J. Shout out to my man Puma J in the building. Coach D says wide receiver room C. C- from Freedom. Lux ZG says a C for the wide receiver room. Neighbors was an A. That's a fact. That's a fact. Jesse says, yeah, Neighbors was an A. Neighbors was an A. Wide receiver room is C. We're gonna keep this thing moving because we coming up to 2 hours on the show, so we got to wrap things up. D plus from Bookend. Listen, I see what you're doing, Bookend. I see what you're doing. You had high expectations and they didn't meet the expectations. I respect. I respect. I respect. Ed Lid says, I like my guy with Rob soon, but unfortunately we got a C or a C minus. I'm not mad at that. C plus Hyde and Slayton are one trick ponies, but Slayton has mastered that trick. All right. All right. Was it JDJ says wide receiver room incomplete, like all the passes thrown to them after they dropped them. That's crazy. All right, running backs. Running backs, we're including Cam Scatterbull, Tracy, and then Devin Singletary. So let me know quickly about the running backs. What grade are we giving them midway through the season? Still got wide receiver room. Still a B. Okay, coach says a B plus for the running backs, or is that still for the wide receivers? Let me know. Coach D says an A minus for the running back room. Manny says an A for the running back room. Scatterbull gets an A plus from Gang Star. I think the running backs are doing a damn good job. This, because we didn't know what the offensive line was going to look like. Side Guy Bride says running back room A minus. Luis says B plus. Running backs, yes, we're talking about the running backs. Freedom says a B plus for the running backs. I like it. I respect that. NYG Frank, old school. Let me know, old school. Running backs are not moving the ball. I give C plus because Cam was getting in the end zone. That's the only reason why I give a C plus. I'm not mad at it. My man JJ the King, he cheating again, breaking up the squad. He goes Scatterbull A plus, Tyrone Tracy C plus. Okay. A-Tracks, we're going to A-Tracks, C plus from A-Tracks. Hooks Rub says A for the running back since Eric Gray isn't playing. That's hilarious. Listen, how does Eric Gray catch a stray like that? Let me know how he caught a stray. How did he caught it? Okay, we're gonna move. I got faith in Tracy Freedom. I do too. Tight ends. What grade are you giving the tight ends? Now this group, I don't care if you split it up, because I'm listen. Bellinger gets a B from me as far as the tight ends go. Theo Johnson though, I'm curious to see what Theo Johnson gets. Sean Jackson says B plus for running back. Scat was a great factor. No, that's a fact. Eric Gray is garbage. Eric Gray don't even exist right now. Don says a B minus for the tight ends from Side Guy Bride. Manny says a B. Ed Lid, I'm excited to see what Tracy will do tomorrow. Though hopefully they give him the majority. The majority keep Singletary on the bench. Singletary's been running hard this year though. Something about Cam Scatterbull is rubbing off on these running backs, and you're seeing these guys run a lot harder. You really are. Belly B Johnson a C. I wish I can get a grade for Thomas Fedoni, but he can't get on the field. Manhurts, we ain't even thinking about Manhurts. And just think about it. We kept Manhurts, but we could have kept Greg Dosich. And I'm watching the game on Thursday, and he making plays for the Dolphins. But I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. Jesse says, C, no production. Come on now. Now Bellinger is producing. If you look up Bellinger right now, he's averaging 17 yards a catch. He got almost 200 yards receiving. You know what he had last year? And we're only halfway through the season. And he's a tight end too. It is what it is. He got 200 yards on 11 catches. He got 12 targets, 11 catches. So he did drop one. And he got 200 yards. Come on, man. Come on, man. Shout out to Daniel Bellinger. Tight end group is a C because of Theo's drops. I can't even argue. If you're gonna grade them together, Theo brings down the group for sure. But he can fix that by having some big catches tomorrow. And let's beat these 49ers at the end of the day. Let's do that. Man Hurts an A for blocking. Now we just picking on people. All right, we're going to switch it now. We're going to the defensive side, right? We're going to the defensive side. And we're going to start with the DBs. Hey, Jesse, I rate the kick. The kicker is a F. The kickers are a F. McAtamney, they cut him, and then they brought him back to the practice squad, and then I don't know if they cut him again, but you got Koo, you got McAtamney, Gano's back. Gano made all his field goals and kicks, so I'm happy about that. But other than that, it is what it is. All right, so what was I at? I was at the DBs. DBs got a C minus. That's actually better than I thought it was going to be, A-Tracks. And it's probably Cordell Flott that's holding up this squad right now. Adebo had a couple of good tackles, and Adebo's having a lot of tackles, actually, and it's crazy when your cornerbacks are getting that many tackles, but that's where we living right now. Manny says DB Rumor F minus. Crazy. Belly got hands for sure. That's a fact. JJ the King says DB Rumor F plus. So we got one F minus, one F plus for the DBs. Flock got a B plus. The rest got a D. DBs C minus. DBs got an F. Puma J says F minus. Exclamation point. Couch Coach Tommy says, "Oh Lord, DB be down to D after what? DB be down. That sounds like I'm playing Contra. Sounds like I'm playing Contra. That's the code for Nintendo. DB be down to D after injuries." Those that catch that reference, shout out to y'all for the Contra players out there, the 80s babies that played Contra on Nintendo way back in the day. Ed Liz said D. DB from P. DB. Also, hold on. DB. Listen, let me know what your name is. I'm right now. I'm having the hardest. DB from EP Live is what I'm assuming it is. It also can be DB from EP Live. Let me know for sure. Break that down for me. Coach D says our kickers are DEI highest. Come on, man. That's hilarious, though. That is absolutely hilarious. Jesse says D plus. With Flop maybe a C. NYG Frank says Big Dash. I give the entire defense an incomplete. There's talent on that unit, but they continue to get beat up. Now that's a fact. Hook Rub says DB's a C minus or a C only because of Flott. DB's with an F. Okay, DB Flott is a B. Flott helping them not detract it from them. That's a fact. Dwayne said that's the problem with this coaching staff. They let the wrong players walk. True. All right, we're going to the linebackers. We're talking about the middle linebacker. We're talking about Bobby Okereke. Lord, I wish that Michael McFadden didn't get hurt and he was actually playing. We'll also talk about Darius Muasau. That's what we're talking about, right? Those are the middle linebackers we're talking about. Let me know what you give the grade for the middle linebackers. DB equals dumbbell. That's crazy. Thank you, DB from EP. Thank you. I want to be respectful at the end of the day. I want to be respectful. DB from EP. There it is. Thank you for that. Hold on. Hooks Rub. You know, see? That's why I mess with you, Hooks. Contra, up, down, left, right, A, B, star. That's a fact. I'm rocking with you, Hooks. I'm rocking with you. And everybody else that was around that time playing Nintendo. Contra was fire. Why didn't they reboot Contra? Never mind. Forget that. All right, linebackers. C-ish. Okay. D for the linebackers. D minus for the linebackers from Coach. Couch Coach says a D as well. NYG Fam for Life 82 says D, and Bobby O is declining under this new system. I don't believe Bobby Okereke forgot how to play football. I know Bobby Okereke can throw a good right hand though too. You see Cordell Flott caught a mean right hand from Bobby Okereke, and he's in concussion protocol. Ain't that a damn shame? I wish Bobby played as well as he punches right now. I'll tell you that much. But again, I'm blaming it on Shane Bowen. Because you can't go from Bobby O looking like Bobby O with Wink to looking like what he's looking like now with Shane Bowen. I'm not giving all that blame to Bobby O. I'm sorry. It is what it is. DBZ? What? DBZ. All right. I'll take it. I ain't never had that grade before, but I'm assuming that's bad. MBX13 says, nah, get it right. He says hooks rubs up. He says up, down. Hold on. Let me up, down, left, right, B. Yeah, you really remember it. Is AB start? It ain't BA. It's AB, right? Up, down, left, right. Up, down, left, right. A. It's AB though. I think it's AB select start. Up, down, left, right. Yeah, I think it's AB. We talking about 30 years though. This 30 years of memory. I'm trying to go back. But you got it so right. I might take your answer for it, MBX. Up, down, left, right. And you know the cadence that I'm saying it is exactly how we used to say it. Up, down, left, right. I thought it was AB select start, but okay, whatever. I don't have an Nintendo to prove it, so we'll see what happens. 80s kids, that's a fact. 80s baby. Shout out to the 80s babies out there. Ed Liz says another C grade dash. This isn't fun, or more realizing what we are. Listen, it is what it is. We just gonna be real. Donovan, what's going on? Donovan says DB Deontay Banks a bigger bust than DB. Oh, oof. That's funny. That's funny. The Big Moose says, why was Bobby O so great with Wink and now having problems under Shane? That's the $1,000. I mean, that's the $1 million question, I should say. It's worth more than $1,000. That's $1 million question. I don't know. All right, hold on. Oh man, I didn't even see that. I missed some of these super chats. Hold on. Luis Sandino with the $4.99 super chat. He says, I know Dart is development, but if we keep losing, should we sit him out for next season? Also, do you think Hyatt will succeed if traded? I do think there's a role for Hyatt somewhere on some other team. Absolutely. When a coach actually takes the time to scheme him open and not just throw him on the back burner, I do believe that there's a place for him somewhere. And as far as your Jackson Dart commercial, your Jackson Dart question, you absolutely do not sit Jackson Dart. All of these snaps are going to be valuable. Now, if we're talking about the end of games, like what we saw last weekend with the Philadelphia Eagles, and you running him at the end of the game with garbage points, you do not do that. But you're not going to sit down. You're not sitting Jackson Dart. All of these snaps that he's getting now are going to be developmental. Absolutely. He needs all of these snaps to prepare himself for what he's going to see next year. All right, so the next one's going to be the edge room. I'm putting the D-line and the edge room separate. What grade are you giving the edge rushers? Hook says we should never draft and sign a player with the initials DB. That's hilarious. Said ATP, let the kid play. That's a fact. Gotta let the kid play. Gotta let him play. This is all developmental right here. JJ the King says Banks is so bad he makes me miss Eli Apple. That's tomorrow. You know what's going to happen tomorrow. We are running Tay Banks and Corey Black out there starting cornerbacks for us. That's what's going to happen tomorrow. I hope we all realize that. That means I am begging before I go to bed tonight. I'm going to pray for the edge room and for this defensive line that they go ahead and cause havoc. Because if they don't get home tomorrow, cornerbacks might be barbecue chicken. All right, Hook says an A for the edges. Edge room is a B. Coach D says Carter F. Burns an A-. What about Tibbs, though? Manny says edge rushers A+, Burns, Carter, Tibbs. Tibbs C+. There you go. I thought you just forgot about him. Couch Coach Tommy says nobody misses Eli Apple, bro. Yeah, we don't miss Eli Apple. Not at all. Marco says, what's our record if Dart would have started from day one? I think we would have at least 2 more wins if Dart. I think we beat the Cowboys, and I actually think we beat the Chiefs if Dart starts from jump. I would say we could beat the Commanders too, but I'm sheesh, makes me depressed just thinking about it. The record might be flipped. We might be 6-2 if Dart starts at the beginning of the season, and that's crazy to think about, man. That's crazy to think about. And if you start thinking like that, then you're starting to think like, yeah, maybe the coaching isn't as bad as we thought. But no, we see it in games that the coaching is bad. Bookend says Edge get an A. At least you got Bookend. At least you got an A somewhere. I'm digging it. Ed Liz says they get a B, but Burns gets an A plus. He's playing like he got something to prove this year. Yeah, Burns is doing this thing right now. Sean Jackson says Edge B plus, but would have been an A if Bowen wasn't the DC. That's a fact. Big Moose says Edge room solid B. JDJ says Banks gotta take notes from Corey. At least Corey sees the ball when he just got mossed though. He just got mossed though. He did get his head around though. The funny thing is this though. If you guys were paying attention last week when Banks was covering Devontae Smith on that comeback route, I ain't gonna say that was the first time that Banks got his head around, but he got his head around on that play, and look how bad it was. I see why he doesn't rely on getting his head around it, because as soon as he got his head around, it was a comeback route, and it was about 8 yards of separation. I wish I was over exaggerating. Damn if you do, damn if you don't for Deontay Banks on getting his head around. Don says Corey Black is going to be good. I think, you know what? I was actually pretty high on Corey Black too. I like what I saw at college. Oklahoma State, tall, physical corner, good in zone, good ball skills too. Again, we don't know what we have with this coaching and with this scheme. But again, Corey Black, he made the 53 initially. They cut him for Rico Payton. He got his feelings hurt. He went to the practice squad for the Jets, and then we fished him out of there. And now he's starting 2 weeks later. Thank you, Joe Shane. Thank you, Joe Shane. LV Shore says I trade Banks for some Crown Fried Chicken and a Cisco. Cisco is crazy. I remember what they used to call Cisco. I remember the nickname for Cisco. I was too young drinking Cisco. Way too young. Shout out to the New Jersey liquor stores for allowing a 15-year-old to get alcohol. Bad. I might have been 16 at the time. Bad. I had a full mustache, though, so maybe they really thought I was 21 at 16. But anyway, Cisco was disgusting. Actually, Cisco wasn't disgusting. Cisco was just very, 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 very bad for you. Remember what they called it. It is what it is. Luann says, I changed it. Edge is a B. Okay. All right. And then the last group before we get out of here is going to be, that's a fact, Jesse. I see you, Jesse. That's a fact. That's what they called it. That's what they called it. It's a shame, too, they had all those damn flavors advertising to the youth like that. It's horrible when you think about it. Horrible when you think about it. You get about 2 bottles. Let me shut up. We're gonna talk about the defensive line. What are you giving the grades for the defensive line? We're gonna leave that Cisco alone. Yeah, defensive line. I'm already 10 minutes over on the show. We're gonna wrap this thing up. What grade are you giving the defensive line midway through the season? So that's gonna be your Dexter Lawrence's, your Darius Alexander's, your DJ Davidson's, your Nachos, your Elijah Garcia's, your Roy Robertson Harris's. That's the D line. Gangstar says the D line gets an A. That's pretty high. That's pretty high. Jesse said he used to drink it. Yeah, you already know then, Jesse. You already know. Hooks Rub says DTs with the crazy face. Hold on, let me slow it down. You got Couch Coach Tommy says D line gets a C. Don said an A. Defensive line a B plus. D line D minus. Jesse says a B plus for the defensive line. Bookend says B plus for the D line. Hook says DT's B minus. Y'all know we still can't stop the run, right? Yeah, I do know we still can't stop the run, right? No, well, we're not stopping it on the edges though. So that's more of the edges than setting the edge, than I guess running up the middle. But some of these are high grades for the defensive line, in my opinion. Like Dexter Lawrence is Dexter Lawrence, true. But the way we can't stop the run, I don't know. I can't give him a B. I can't do it. I'm sorry. That's the last thing we're gonna do, Mega Giants, before we get out of here, is the game predictions. Mascot got an A+. We don't even have mascots. That's hilarious. And I see why you did it. That's hilarious. Maybe the fans are the mascots. If that's the case, yeah, go ahead and give us an A+. We boo when we need to boo. We cheer when we need to cheer. You know, we throw beers when we need to throw beers. And we have fantastic pregames. All right, Mega Giants 89 says final 49ers 20, Giants 23. That's what we're going to do right now. We're going to end this show out with some game predictions. Again, shout out to the 116 people still watching. Please, I didn't keep track of the likes. Hopefully everybody hit that like button. Again, that goes a long way for the channel and the growth. I do appreciate everybody for vibing with me tonight. Hopefully you guys had a good time. I enjoyed myself talking to you guys tonight as well, as like I always do. Shout out to the Big Blue Nation always showing up. Jesse says 27-23 G-Men. Turf said a F- for the for the D line. JJ the King says Dexter gets a D- pause. Coach D says 27-21 Niners. Manny Banks says Giants 34, Niners 17. Final Orlando. What's going on, Orlando? He says 24-17 G-Men. Big Moose says 24-17 G-Men. Listen, that's where I'm at. I like this. Oh, listen, that's like my go-to score. I be cheating, man. 24-17 always sounds like a good score for me. Gangstar, I would love to get a goose egg. He says 24-0 Giants. That's a fact. Freedom says Giants 45, Niners 29. Imagine if we did score 45 points. Imagine that. No scat, no neighbors. Just Jackson Dart out there making magic. Maybe the defense gets a scoop and score somewhere. Maybe we get an interception in return for a touchdown. That 45 points got to come from somewhere. That'll be a magical, mythical 45 points if we get that. NYG Frank says 31-21 Niners of the Giants struggle stopping the run again. Okay, it is what it is. JDJ says Giants 21, Niners 14. Dart throws a Lil Ray Ray. Oh, throws to Lil Ray Ray. Let me say it right. Giants 21, Niners 14. Dart throws a little Ray Ray in them for 3 touchdowns. I'm with it. Ray Ray in them. That's a fact. Coach D says our D is just so bad right now. Bookends with a simple message to Theo. He says, Theo, catch the ball. Jesse Montez says cheat code on Madden. Luann says top of the 9th, 4-3 Toronto. All right. Gangstar says 2 pick sixes, 2 fumbles, 6. We got 45. Okay. I'll take it. The Big Moose says the feeling is a big game from Slay tomorrow. I hope so. We've been waiting for it. Luann says 34-21 Giants. JJ the King says I'm rooting for a win, but going to have to prove me wrong. 49ers 28-10. 10 point. Good Lord. Have you seen the 49ers? They don't look good either. Hook says play for Donnie, please. That's a fact. NYG Frank says 28 points scored by the defense. That only happens when you put rookie mode on Madden. Now, that's a fact. So we're going to end this here. Again, the New York Giants play the 49ers tomorrow. They're back at home where Jackson Dart is undefeated. Can he keep the streak alive at home with 3 straight wins at home? Three straight home wins, I should say. Can Jackson Dart keep that streak alive? Can the Giants keep that streak alive and keep that home crowd, very, very entertained? That's what I'm rooting for. Absolutely. Coach D says, Slay, please, no drops, fumbles, or whammies. All right. Luann says the Dodgers just tied at 4-4. There you go. I might catch the end of this game. Jesse says, thank you, Dash. Nah, man, thank you. The pleasure is all mine. Hooks Rubs, thanks, Dash. Peace to the... That's a fact. Again, so we're going to close this thing out, man. Shout out to everybody for vibing with me. Again, I'll see you guys tomorrow for those that can. I will be going live right after the game to do a live reaction to what we saw. So hopefully the New York Giants are celebrating tomorrow, a victory Sunday. And with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation.